Welcome to the English. My name is Ethan. I was born in Lisbon, Portugal, in a family of wealthy merchants. My father is a successful trader, and my mother takes care of our home. We live in a large house near the port, where I can see ships coming and going every day. Since I was a child, I have always dreamed of sailing across the ocean. I love listening to sailors' stories about distant lands, exotic places, and exciting adventures. But my father has a different plan for me. He wants me to stay in Lisbon, study business, and continue the family trade. You have everything here, my father tells me. A good home, a promising future. Why do you want to risk your life at sea? I understand his concerns, but my heart tells me otherwise. I don't want to spend my whole life in one place. I want to see the world with my own eyes. One evening, as I sit near the docks watching the sunset, my friend Mateo approaches me. "Ethan, I have great news," he says. "My father's ship is sailing to Brazil next week. Come with us." I hesitate. This is my chance to start my journey, but am I ready? I have never sailed before. I don't know if I can survive such a long trip. Mateo sees my uncertainty and laughs. "It's just a short journey across the Atlantic. You'll love it." That night, I cannot sleep. I think about my comfortable home, my family, and my future. But I also think about the ocean, adventure, and freedom. The next morning, I make my decision. I will go. The port of Lisbon is full of life. Sailors shout orders, merchants negotiate prices, and travelers prepare for their long journey. Mateo introduces me to his father, Captain Luis, a tall man with a strong voice. "So, you want to sail, boy?" he asks, looking at me with sharp eyes. "Yes, sir," I say confidently. "Good. The sea is a tough place, but if you work hard, you'll be fine." I say goodbye to my family. My father looks disappointed, but my mother hugs me tightly. "Be careful, my son," she whispers. As the ship sets sail, I stand at the deck watching Lisbon disappear in the distance. I feel nervous but excited. This is the beginning of my great adventure. For the first few days, the journey is peaceful. The sea is calm, the wind is gentle, and the ship moves steadily toward Brazil. I help with small tasks, learning from the sailors. But on the fourth day, the sky changes. Dark clouds appear on the horizon. The wind grows stronger. The sailors move quickly, securing the sails and preparing for a storm. "Hold on, boy," one sailor tells me. "This will be rough." Soon, the storm hits us with full force. The waves grow higher and higher, crashing against the ship like mountains of water. The wind howls like a wild beast, shaking the ship violently. I grab onto a wooden post, my heart pounding. The ship rises and falls with the waves, throwing water onto the deck. I hear Captain Luis shouting, "Keep the ship steady! Hold the ropes!" The storm lasts for hours. At one point, I am sure we will sink. My hands tremble, and I think about my home, my bed, and my warm meals. I wonder if I made a mistake. Then, just as suddenly as it began, the storm ends. The sky clears, and the ocean calms. The sailors cheer, relieved to have survived. An older sailor sits next to me and hands me a cup of water. "Your first storm, eh?" he says with a smile. I nod, still shaking. "You did well. Every sailor feels fear at first, but soon you'll get used to it." As the night falls, I lie on the deck looking at the stars. I survived my first storm. I feel different, stronger, more determined. The journey has truly begun. After surviving my first storm, I start to feel like a real sailor. The fear I had before is gone, replaced by excitement. The ocean is endless, and every sunrise feels like a new adventure. Finally, after several weeks at sea, we arrive in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. The city is unlike anything I have seen before, a place of golden beaches, towering mountains, and ships from every corner of the world. I walk through the busy markets, amazed by the spices, fruits, and fabrics from Africa and Asia. Captain Luis introduces me to a merchant named Enrique, who trades sugar and gold. "If you want to be a trader, you must learn how business works," Luis says. I listen carefully as Enrique explains the trade routes between Europe, South America, and the Caribbean. He tells me that the best profits come from transporting goods between these regions. Then, he gives me an idea that changes everything. "You should join a ship going north to the Caribbean," he suggests. "There, you'll find more trading opportunities. If you're lucky, you could make a fortune." I know this is risky, but my desire for adventure is stronger than my fear. I decide to take a merchant ship heading toward Havana, Cuba. We sail for 10 days, moving steadily through the warm Caribbean waters. The sun is bright, the sea is calm, and I start to believe that my journey will be smooth. But one afternoon, a dark silhouette appears on the horizon. At first I think it's another merchant ship, but our captain turns pale. "Pirates," he mutters. Within minutes the pirate ship gets closer. Their sails are black, and the men on board wave swords and muskets. Our crew tries to escape, but the pirate ship is faster. "They're catching up!" someone shouts. The captain orders the sailors to prepare for a fight. We fire cannons, but the pirates are too quick. They throw hooks onto our ship and swing onto our deck, weapons drawn. Chaos erupts, swords clash, men shout, and gunfire fills the air. I try to fight, but a pirate grabs me from behind and pushes me to the ground. The battle lasts only minutes. We are outnumbered. The captain surrenders, and the pirates take control of our ship. A man steps forward. He wears a red coat, a wide hat, and a gold earring. His face is covered in scars. "I am Captain Manuel Cortez," he announces. "This ship is now mine." I realize that I am now a prisoner of the most feared pirate in the Caribbean. The pirates take everything from our ship, gold, food, weapons. Then they force us onto their own vessel. I learn quickly that life among pirates is cruel. They make me scrub the deck, carry heavy barrels, and clean their weapons. If I slow down, they kick me. If I refuse, they threaten me with their swords. Every day I hear them talking about raiding ships and stealing treasures. They tell stories about hidden islands filled with gold. One pirate, Diego, watches me closely. "You're strong, boy," he says one night. "Work hard, and maybe we won't throw you into the sea." I realize that I must stay quiet and obedient if I want to survive. But deep inside, I have one thought. I must escape. After several weeks, the ship arrives at a small island near the coast of Venezuela. "This is our base," Diego tells me. "No one escapes from here." The island is surrounded by sharp cliffs and dangerous waters, making it nearly impossible to leave. But I notice something important. Every few days, the pirates go fishing in small boats. One day, the captain tells me to go fishing with a young pirate named Noah. Noah is about my age, and unlike the others, he seems kind. As we row away from the shore, I look around. No one else is nearby. This is my chance. "Noah," I say quietly, "do you want to live as a pirate forever?" He hesitates, then shakes his head. "I was taken as a prisoner too," he admits, "but I have no way to escape." "We can escape together," I say. Noah looks at the island, then back at me. He nods. That night, we prepare. We steal some food, a small barrel of water, and a knife. The next morning, when we go fishing again, we suddenly change direction, rowing away from the island as fast as we can. The wind is strong, the current is with us. For the first time in weeks, I feel hope. But I know the pirates will come after us. We must reach land before they find us. We row for hours, the sun burning our skin. "We need to find land," Noah says, looking at the endless sea. I scan the horizon, searching for anything. Then I see something, a dark shape in the distance. "An island!" I shout. With all our strength, we row toward it. But as we get closer, a storm begins to form behind us. "The wind is too strong," Noah cries. The waves grow higher. Our small boat rocks violently. Then suddenly a massive wave hits us. I feel my body thrown into the water. The ocean pulls me down. I kick, struggling to reach the surface. I see Noah's hand. I grab it. We fight against the waves, swimming with all our strength toward the island. Finally, after what feels like an eternity, we reach the shore. I collapse onto the sand, exhausted but alive. Noah sits next to me, breathing heavily. "We did it," he whispers. But as I look around, my relief turns to fear. We are on an island, but it is completely wild. No houses, no boats, no signs of people. Only jungle, mountains, and the endless sound of the ocean. I realize something terrifying. We escaped the pirates, but now we are trapped on an unknown island. I wake up to the sound of waves crashing against the shore. The sun is rising, casting golden light over the beach. My body aches, and my clothes are soaked with salt water. Next to me, Noah is still asleep, his face covered in sand. We survived. But now comes the real challenge, surviving on this island. I sit up and look around. The island is wild and untouched. There are no signs of people, no smoke in the distance, no boats on the horizon. Behind us, a thick jungle stretches across the land, its trees swaying in the wind. We are completely alone. After resting for a while, I shake Noah awake. "We need to find food and water," I say. We walk along the beach, searching for anything useful. The first thing we find is a pile of broken wood, remains of a shipwreck. "We should check the jungle," Noah suggests. The jungle is dense and humid. The air smells of wet leaves and earth. Birds call from the treetops and insects buzz in our ears. After some time, we find a small stream of fresh water. We drink greedily, relieved to have something cool and refreshing. Then we look for food. "We need something to eat," I say. Noah climbs a tree and picks some strange yellow fruits. "I've seen these before," he says. "They're safe." I take a bite. The fruit is sweet and juicy. It's not much, but it will keep us alive for now. As the sun gets lower in the sky, we realize we need a place to sleep. "We should build a shelter near the beach," Noah suggests. "That way, if a ship passes by, we can see it." We collect wood, large leaves, and vines from the jungle. It takes hours, but finally, we build a simple hut, just enough to protect us from the rain. As night falls, we sit by the shore, staring at the dark ocean. "I wonder if anyone is looking for us," Noah says quietly. I have no answer. All I know is that we are alone, and we must survive. Days pass. We explore more of the island, hunting small animals and learning which plants are safe to eat. We even find a large cave near the hills, perfect for storing food. Slowly, we begin to adapt to island life. But then, one morning, something changes. As I walk along the shore, I stop suddenly. In the sand, I see something that makes my heart race. A footprint. I freeze. Noah is behind me. "What is it?" he asks. I point to the ground. His face turns pale. This isn't ours," he whispers. The footprint is fresh, larger than mine or Noah's. "We're not alone," I say. From that moment on, everything feels different. At night, we take turns keeping watch. Every noise in the jungle makes us nervous. We build a stronger fence around our shelter using sharp sticks as protection. "We need to find out who else is here," I say. So the next morning, we follow the footprints. They lead us deeper into the jungle, through tall grass and twisted vines. Then, we see it, smoke rising from the trees. Noah grabs my arm. "Someone's there." I nod. We are not alone on this island. We move carefully, staying low behind bushes. As we get closer, we see a small clearing. In the middle of it, there are several wooden huts. And then I see them, men covered in war paint carrying spears. My blood turns cold. They're warriors, Noah whispers. We watch in silence. The men talk in a language we don't understand, laughing and sharpening their weapons. Then I see something that makes my stomach tighten. Near the fire, there are bones, human bones. Noah covers his mouth, his eyes wide with horror. I whisper, "They're cannibals." We move backward as quietly as possible. We need to get far away before they see us. When we reach our shelter, we sit in silence, trying to process what we just saw. "We have to leave this island," Noah says. "If they find us..." I don't let him finish. We both know what will happen. "We need a plan," I say. That night, as the waves crash against the shore, we start planning our escape. Noah and I sit in silence inside our small shelter. The thought of cannibals living on the island sends chills through my body. "We have to leave," Noah says again, his voice shaking. I nod. Staying here is no longer safe. "But how?" I ask. "We have no boat, no weapons. We can't just swim away." Noah thinks for a moment. "What if we build a raft?" I shake my head. "The ocean is too dangerous. The currents are strong, and we don't have enough food or water for a long journey." Noah looks down, disappointed. Then an idea comes to my mind. "What if we take one of their boats?" Noah's eyes widen. "You mean steal from the cannibals?" I take a deep breath. "Yes, they must have canoes. If we can take one and escape at night, we might have a chance." It's a dangerous plan, but it's the only way. For the next few days, we watch the cannibals from a distance, studying their movements. We learn that they don't live on the island permanently. They only come here occasionally, bringing prisoners to sacrifice. We also see their boats, 3 large canoes, tied near the beach, just outside their camp. One night we hear drums and shouting. We crawl closer and see the cannibals celebrating around a fire. Then my heart stops. They bring out 2 prisoners, a man and a young boy, both tied with ropes. "No," Noah whispers, shaking his head. "They're going to..." I grab his arm. "We have to do something." Noah looks at me, eyes full of fear. "But there are too many of them." I know he's right, but I can't just watch them kill innocent people. I tighten my fist. Then we wait for the right moment. The cannibals begin their ritual, dancing around the prisoners. We need a distraction. I look around and spot a fallen tree branch nearby. I pick it up, take a deep breath, and throw it into the jungle behind their camp. The branch lands with a loud crash. Immediately the cannibals stop. Some of them grab spears and turn toward the sound. Taking advantage of the confusion, Noah and I rush toward the prisoners. I cut their ropes with my knife. "Run," I whisper. The man and boy look at me with wide eyes, then sprint toward the jungle. The cannibals notice us too late. They scream and chase after the prisoners, but Noah and I are already running in the other direction, toward the canoes. We reach the beach. 3 canoes are tied to wooden posts. I jump into one and cut the rope while Noah pushes the boat into the water. Suddenly, a loud roar erupts from behind us. The cannibals have seen us. "Row! Row!" I shout. Noah grabs a paddle and we push into the open sea, the moonlight guiding us. Arrows fly past us, splashing into the water. One barely misses my shoulder. The cannibals jump into the remaining canoes, chasing after us. My heart pounds. Faster! But their boats are faster. They are gaining on us. Then I see it. A storm forming in the distance. The wind picks up, pushing waves higher and higher. Noah grips the boat tightly. "This is bad," he shouts over the howling wind. But I see an opportunity. "If we enter the storm, they won't follow us," I yell back. Noah looks at me like I'm crazy. "We might not survive either." But we don't have a choice. The cannibals are right behind us. I turn the boat toward the storm. Lightning flashes across the sky. Thunder rumbles like an explosion. The waves grow as tall as mountains. The cannibals hesitate at the edge of the storm, but we push forward. The rain pounds against us, the wind screaming in our ears. A wave lifts our canoe high into the air, then drops it down with force. We hold on for our lives. Then suddenly, the world goes dark. I wake up on a sandy beach, my body aching all over. The storm is over. The sky is clear. I sit up, coughing out seawater. "Noah?" I call. A few meters away, Noah lies motionless on the sand. I rush to him, shaking his shoulder. "Noah!" He groans, then opens his eyes. "We made it," he whispers. I look around. We are no longer on the same island. This is a new place. The jungle behind us looks different, the trees taller and greener. In the distance, I see smoke rising into the air. I help Noah stand up. We need to find out where we are. We walk toward the jungle, moving carefully. Then, as we step through the trees, we hear voices. We hide behind a bush and see something unexpected. A group of European men dressed in armor and carrying muskets. Noah gasps. "Are they soldiers?" I recognize the Spanish flag on their tents. "They're conquistadors," I whisper. "Spanish explorers." We watch as the soldiers talk to native people, exchanging goods. It seems like they are not here to fight. At least, not yet. But then, I notice something else. Among the native people, I see the two prisoners we rescued, the man and the boy. They are alive. One of the Spanish officers speaks loudly, pointing at them. Then, to my horror, I see chains around the prisoners' wrists. "They're taking them as slaves," I whisper, my blood boiling. Noah looks at me, his fists clenched. We have to help them. We retreat into the jungle, trying to think. "We can't fight them," Noah says. "They have guns." I nod. "But maybe we don't need to fight." I remember something Captain Luis once told me in Brazil. "The Spanish respect gold more than anything," he had said. I take a deep breath. "We'll trick them." Noah raises an eyebrow. "How?" I grin. "We'll give them what they want. Treasure." We return to the camp at night, hiding in the shadows. I step forward and call out in Portuguese. The Spanish guards turn, aiming their muskets at me. I raise my hands. "I come in peace," I say. "I have an offer for your captain." A soldier grabs me and pulls me forward. The captain, a tall man with a scar on his face, studies me. "Who are you?" I take a deep breath. "I am a trader from Lisbon," I say. "I know where you can find gold." The captain's eyes narrow. "Gold?" I nod. "But in return you must release those prisoners." He studies me for a long time, then he smiles. "Show me the gold and you have a deal." I lead the Spaniards deep into the jungle, away from the camp. When we reach a clearing, I stop. "The gold is buried here," I lie. The Spaniards begin digging. Meanwhile, Noah sneaks back to the camp and cuts the prisoners' ropes. Just as the Spanish captain realizes we tricked him, I grab a rock and smash his compass, disorienting them. Then, I run. We meet Noah and the prisoners near the river, where a small boat is waiting. We jump in and paddle down the river as fast as possible. The Spanish soldiers fire their muskets, but we are already too far. I turn to Noah and the rescued prisoners. We are free. For the first time in months, I feel hope. But our journey is far from over. Thank you for studying with the NGHE English.